Hey guys, Magenta's back here today again with another Future Cup Buddyfight deck profile, and as promised, this time it will be on the new A series deck. This is the Linkdragon Order Ancient World deck, featuring the new guy Thunder X Akito. So it's a really solid deck. It's really good at rushing down your opponent. It can do like 8 attacks per turn, and if you have the spell that allows for restand, you can do up to 12 attacks a turn. And they're all really solid. You can gain crits with certain monsters and prevent destruction with other certain monsters. So the special part about this Linkdragon Order is its ability D-Share. So all cards with D-Share on your field gets the following D ability. So this card's D is when this card attacks for this turn, it gets double attack. So this is our buddy monster, the ace rare of the deck of the booster set. 6k power, 2 crits, 3k defense, Thunder X Agito. So without further ado, let's get on with the deck profile itself before showing you some of the awesome combos that this deck can pull off. So first, we have 2 copies of our size 3 monster, Spiral Thunder X King Agito. Put a total of 6 Linkdragon Order monsters from your field and Linkdragon Order from your drop zone into its soul and pay 2 gauge. Spiral D-Share. This card gets all the D of D-Share in its soul. Basically, it gets the D abilities of the things in its soul, so you can get up to 6 D abilities and Soul Guard. And this has D-Share as well, so if you have size 0 D-Share monsters, you can share its D ability, which is this card's soul cannot be dropped by opponent's card effects. 7k power, 2 crit, 7k defense, decent stats. It has Soul Guard, so you can serve as really strong tank in the early game before you set up a combo to wreck your opponent with 12 attacks. 2 copies is enough because usually we would just want to play the size 1 rush. So moving on, we have 4 copies of our buddy monster, Thunder X Agito. So it has Penetrate, Soul Guard, pay 2 gauge, put a top card of the deck into its soul, and basically its D ability gives all your other monsters double attack, which is really solid because some of the monsters has awesome effects that you want it to trigger twice. So one such monster is our next card which we run at 4 copies, Bloated Hara Hara. So this guy's D ability is when this card attacks, you gain 2 life, which is pretty freaking solid, and it's not a once per turn ability. So you have one of these and you have your Agito. Basically it shares the D ability with your Agito, so when the Agito attacks, you gain 2 life as well. And Agito gives it double attack, so when it attacks, so you can gain up to 8 life with just 2 cards, which is pretty solid. We run 4 copies because Hara Hara is one of the cards you actually want to get. 4k power, 1 crit, 4k defense. It's not situational at all, you just want it all the time to gain yourself life to tank your opponent. So because the new decks are really good at dealing damage, like the Dragot deck can do like 8 damage with just the blast mode itself, not counting the other stuff. So with Hara Hara, you can gain up enough life to survive the beatdown from your opponent, which is really good. And of course, if you have 3 of these, if you have 2 of these and 1 Agito, you can gain your max life gain. So every time you attack, you gain 4 lives, so you can attack up to 6 times. 6 times 4, that's 24. Plus if your item attacks, that's 4 times 2. So 32 health life, 32 life, you can gain 32 life in a turn, which is pretty much the ideal situation, and that would demoralize your opponent. Okay, so that's the main size ones that we run at 4 copies. So moving on to the other cards that we play. 1 copy of Assailant Tategami. So its D ability, when this card enters the field, drop a soul from a card on your opponent's field. 5k power, 1 crit, 1k defense. So this is a D ability, so basically if you have another card such as Hara Hara, which has D-Share, when you call it, it grants him this ability as well. So when you call it, you can drop a soul as well. So this is really solid. You run at 1 because you don't really need it, and because we run a Sturdy Dragon Strike, we can actually search out these cards to put into our drop zone, and then we can retrieve it with our spell. Yes. Moving on, next card we run, Earnest NP. This is the promo box topper. When this card enters the field, you have 3 or more Linkdragon Order, destroy all monsters on your opponent's field, 4k power, 1 crit, 1k defense. When this card attacks, pay 2 life, draw a card. And this works because you can give everything the ability to draw cards, and it doesn't doesn't trigger only once per turn. And if you combo with Hara Hara, basically you get to draw a free card because you gain 2 life and you pay 2 life to draw a card, which is pretty solid. And basically Agito would allow it to trigger twice on every single monster. So 1 copy also good, but we are not going to pay like 20 life a turn to draw like 10 cards. That's just overkill and make you deck out really quickly. So 1 copy is fine. Next we have a Heavy Striker Kaina. This card gets 1 crit. Basically it buffs all the crit of your D monsters. Nothing to be said about that. Crit is just really strong. Helps you push the extra damage to destroy your opponent. Next, we have 1 copy, Head of Linkdragon Order Agito. This is another version of Agito from the start deck. Core cost pay 1 gauge, its D ability is when this card attacks, it gets Penetrate. 5k power, 2 crits, 1k defense. Basically, if you want to rush down your opponent which has a tanky monster in the center, you can use this card. And lastly, we have we have this, Shredder Takatsume. When this card attacks, choose a card on your opponent's field, pay 1 gauge and destroy a chosen card. Basically, you can destroy a lot of cards with the D ability because it shares, as we mentioned. Now we run two of these best friends, Resolute Hirate and Keen Ear Jisen. So let's look at Resolute Hirate first. When this card attacks, for this turn another Linkdragon Order gets 1 crit. And its D ability, this card cannot be returned to hand or rested by opponent's card effects. Pretty good. Next, when it's Keen Ear Jisen, when this card enters the field, put the top card of your deck into your gauge, and this card cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. So basically, if you have two of these on the field plus your main guy Agito, so that's your unkillable formation. Cannot be rested, cannot be returned, and cannot be destroyed by opponent. So basically, you have a Dragon Force. Dragon Force, in case you're new to Buddyfight, Dragon Force are those cards back in the day in the Triple D. Dragon Force are pesky items that cannot be destroyed, cannot be returned to hand, and yeah, basically they just stick on the field unless something special happens. Anyway, these 3 together will make it so that your opponent can't kill you, can't destroy these cards on your turn, and you are guaranteed to deal the damage unless they have nullifiers and stuff like that. And Hirate is really good because when you attack, you give 1 crit to your other guy, so it works because Agito gives it double attack, so you can double attack, you can give Agito 2 crit, that's 4 crit double attack with Agito, or you can split it among your other cards as well. So pretty solid, 1 copy each is enough because these effects don't stack. So these are the kind of support cards which we run at 1 copy each, which is good enough because we can search it out. So moving on to our size zeros, we run 4 copies of Quick Wit Tsumasaki. You may only call this card if you have another card with D-Share. Basically an item also works as long as it has D-Share. 1k power, 1 crit, 1k defense, size 0 monster. When this card enters the field, put the top card of your deck into a gauge and draw a card. Basically, it's a free charge, free gauge and a free draw, and it doesn't trigger once per turn only. So basically, if you have 4 of these, you can just keep calling them over and over again for your free cards. And D-Share, during your opponent's turn, this card gets defense 3k. So first thing, it's a size 0, so it works well with our size 3 King Agito. Can support him. And basically we just run it for the charge and draw potential, which is really actually pretty good. Because you need to cycle your deck to get to your combo pieces. So moving on, 4 copies of Orders X Wild X. This card can attack even if you have Linkdragon Order in the center. Abilities of all Linkdragon Order cannot be nullified by your opponent's card effects. So combined with this and the 2 best friends, where are the 2 best friends? I can't find them. Alright, the 2 best friends combined with your item plus your Agito is basically a solid formation. So this cannot be nullified by your opponent's card effects. So basically, if they have King Oberon and Star of Justice, they can't do anything to your formation. And during your turn, this card gets power 3k, which is a good addition because they all have pretty low power if you look at that. So it might be hard to blast through your opponent's defenses. So this is pretty good. Alternatively, people run the ones that do 1 damage or destroy size 2 or less monster, but I personally like the 3k power and cannot be nullified. Abilities cannot be nullified the most. Moving on to our spells, 2 copies of Linkdragon Orders Links. Drop the 2 cards of your deck. Counter, choose and use one of the following. You can charge 3 and gain 1 life or destroy a monster on the field. Firstly, the fact that it mills 2 is really good because when you mill, you can retrieve the cards with a spell, which we have not seen, but we will see later. And secondly, being able to give you gauge and life is good when you want to set up your combo, because Agito costs a whopping 2 gauge, and when you need to cast spells, it costs gauge as well. And of course, lastly, you can destroy opponent's monster to prevent them from pulling off their sick combos. 2 copies. Moving on to our next spell. From the secret pack, we have Linkdragon Order's Oath. Pay 2 gauge, stand all cards with D-Share in your field. This is the main part. It's the main killer part of this card. And alternatively, you can give all cards with D-Share plus 10k power 1 crit. That works really well if you're fighting against Chaos with big defense, or what other things have big defense? New cards, I mean like Electro Deity, it's pretty high defense. It hasn't come out yet, but pretty good to have this in your deck. And Sonic mode, Gargantua Dragon Sonic mode, that has really high defense as well. It's pretty good. Useful in a lot of situations, but usually you use it as a finisher. Pay 2 gauge, stand all cards with D-Share, and you can attack with them once again. So by standing these cards, you can trigger your effects like Haru Haru, or you can trigger the NP that draws, and stuff like that. Yeah, which is pretty solid. Now moving on, we run 3 copies of Sturdy Dragon Strike. Choose 2, drop 2 Ancient World monsters from your deck into a drop zone and shuffle your deck, then put the top card of your deck into your gauge. So you gain a gauge and you get to put it into the drop zone. So these 2 are from the new one. This is the old one. You see the color is slightly different and the text is slightly different. Anyway, the point is you can search out for your one copy guys. So usually if you're playing the deck, I would recommend you search out for the best friends before you search out for anything else. But usually it depends on the situation. If you're playing against so heavy Jackknife deck, you want to search out for him so that you can retrieve it later. Anyway, that's it. 3 copies, that's it. 2 copies of Divine Dragon Creation. It's a solid card. Pay 2 life, draw 2 cards. Nothing to it. Ancient World has always run this from the start. Dragon Emperor Legend, also another classic card. So take note, we have dropped. Usually people run at 4/4, but now because Linkdragon Order has gotten their own support, which is really strong, so we just run 2 copies of each to make space for other cards. So we have 4 copies of this Linkdragon Order's Hunt. Pay 1 gauge, gain 1 life and draw a card for each monster with D-Share on your field. Basically, if you have 3 monsters with D-Share, you gain 3 life and draw 3 cards, which is way better than this, or way better than your Divine Dragon Creation. So we make space for 4 copies of this, which is really good. I really love this card. And of course, to keep up with the new decks, you actually need a lot of draw power. Like to fight against the God Punks, you need a lot of draw power so that it doesn't matter when they make you discard, because you have a shit ton of hand cards as well. And yeah, moving on. 4 copies of Linkdragon Order's Gathering. This is the card I've been talking about a lot. So it's the one that allows you to retrieve, put up to 2 cards with D-Share and different card names from a drop zone into your hand. So basically, you can after you search out for the 2 best friends with Sturdy Dragon Strike over here, you can put them into your hand using Linkdragon Order Gathering. So overall, a really solid card. And the other ability, pay 1 gauge, you can search for 1 Agito from your deck and add it into your hand. So you can either search for the Penetrate Agito over here, or you can search for your double attack buddy Agito, or you can search for the size 3 King Agito. So depending on the situation, you will want different cards. So really flexible, and that's why it's a really solid card. Moving on to the few shields in the deck, we run 4 copies of Undying Linkdragon Order. We don't run Bond Shield because it really retrieve enough stuff. So this helps to survive. Notify the attack, gain 1 life for each card with D-Share on your field. Basically, you have 3 size 1 monsters and 1 item with D-Share. So you can gain 4 life and nullify the attack with this card. Usually we don't need a lot of shields because Haru Haru gives so much life that you can just tank. It doesn't matter. And lastly, we run 2 copies of our impact card, Thunder Dragon Tornado. You mainly cast this card with your monster with D-Share on your field, and your opponent 4 life or less. And you pay 2 gauge, deal 4 damage to your opponent. If you have a monster with Spiral D-Share, you may cast it without paying 2 gauge. So basically, if you have this becomes free. So usually we wouldn't play the size 3, so it will just cost 2 gauge to deal 4 damage. However, it's not as good as Deity Gargantua Punisher that cannot be reduced or nullified. It can be reduced or nullified, but it's just cheap damage, 2 gauge for 4 damage, which is pretty solid if you ask me. So yeah, that's it for today's deck profile on our best friend Agito. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like down below to show me some support. If you're new to my channel, subscribe if you'd like to see more Buddyfight deck profiles, card reviews, product openings and stuff like that. And be sure to hit the bell icon if you haven't to get notified about my new videos and stuff like that. So with that said, the next video will be on my Danger World God Punk deck. So hope you guys will look forward to that, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, take care.